Hi, I'm Tim.
I'm Anna, and this is Holden, and we're Geeked Up Gaming.
And we're going to bring you our very first Kickstarter, pre-Kickstarter preview of Thrash Car. It should be going on the end of the month, and just to show how excited Holden is, he's actually wearing his little race car socks.
Say vroom, vroom, vroom.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and show you the components of what's in here and what is going to become in the stretch goals. So this is the box we were shipped, and I do keep in mind that this is a pre-Kickstarter. This is the actual artwork that'll be on the front of the box. The actual box size is going to be 10.5 by 10.5 by 2.25, which is the height. And it's going to be front, back, and wraparound artwork. So, you know, you're going to see Thrash Car sitting on the side, and then Solar Flare Games, you know, labeled on the side, and they'll have backside artwork. So this is basically the artwork that will be on the front of the box, though. So that is a finished piece. And then we have the board, which this is just an 18 by 18. Now they are coming out with a board that's going to be a 20 by 20. And let me zoom out a little bit. This is an 18 by 18. They're going to come out with a 20 by 20. They'll actually have, this will be a little bit bigger, and then there'll be a lot more space, because right now when I put my cards on here they don't fit, so when they blow it up a little bit bigger, everything will fit on here really nice. And I really like the layout of this. Now the back side is blank as of right now for one of the stretch goals. They're hoping to be able to put a track on the back that's like maybe a road course or something, to be a longer track for a much bigger game. So it'll be like an endurance race. And then this is I do believe the official artwork for the front side. And you don't play both tracks at the same time, which we'll explain that later. You pick one track to play, and then if we can, you know, if there is another track on the back side, we'll be able to play on the back side, and that'd be kind of nice. And I'll show you a close-up of the trade paint table, which it's a little bright in here. But basically they'll actually have cards produced, little cheat sheet cards of those. And then I've just got a basic printout of the rules, but the rules will be a 10 by 10, 12-page glossy manual with bleeds and plenty of image examples for game function. And the cards, now the box will have all its own slots for everything. Right now I just got everything in baggies, just to keep everything separated, or else I'd have everything all over the box. Now some of these, well, most of the cards, they don't have the finished artwork on them yet. They're working on that. That's in production. But some of the artwork that they do have done, I believe, looks really good. And I think they've got a lot of really good artists working on this project. Let me see if I can find another one. Yeah, here we go. It's kind of cartoony, but I think it definitely fits with the way that the game plays. It is a screw your neighbor type of game, and that's what we have most fun of. The trade paint is like you're doing damage to each other. We'll explain that later in the game, when we explain the game and everything and the rules. So that's the main deck, the actual action cards, and I didn't show you the backside. The backside, you know, action. It's got the Thrash Car, the checkered flag on there. And these cards are not going to be the corner ones. I do believe they're going to go with the rounded side, because these are kind of uncomfortable to hold in your hand. And then we have, I do believe these are the finished ones except for the corners. These are the enhancement cards, and we'll explain how those work. And then we have the track cards, and these cards, there's spaces on the tracks where you can put these track cards. And oh, this one's a blank one. Let me find one those are ones you can, like, I guess I could have made my own or whatever. to see, like this one's handling, and then it's a target of 5. Now if you don't hit the target, you'll have to take damage. But there's a 10-sided die. You can either roll for it, or you can use your cards and roll for it, because some of the cards will help you hit that target. I'm getting ready to show you the play cards where it shows that attribute. Depending on what character you get, or depending on what attributes you get. Like right here we have the recyclers, which has its unfinished artwork. Here's the finished piece, and then 2 in the making pieces. Our action, right here is our action counter, and then these numbers around the outside are how many laps you can do. You can do 3 to 5 laps, or you could do however many you want. And then we've got the once per race deals, and then once per lap, which that's where the enhancement cards will go. They'll sit down here in the space, and we'll show you that in setups. And then the little attributes, like the suspension is +2, handling is +2, so if I flip that card and had to do a 5, then I already have 2 in my favor, and then I roll for the rest, or I play a card that'll help me. And I've only got 4 of these. There will be a lot more in the final game. Here's one with all the artwork completed, I do believe. It's got the car, the blower, some antlers on the front. And then this is the team. So basically in this game, what you're doing is you're going to be the owner of the race team, and then those are your teams that are available. Now it does come with 2 or 4 of these D10s, and these roll really nice. I was debating on whether they were going to or not, but they do really well. And the final copy will be cardboard cutouts, and then you'll stick your car into a stand. I have these little plastic ones for a review copy. And then we have these markers, like if you use your NOS or if you use your once per race deal, you'll just put these on there saying that you've already exhausted those. And then these are the pawns that mark how many laps you're on and your actions. And then right now I just got paper clips to just keep track of the durability, which the durability, you see on the bottom of this play card right here, where 50 is the most, and if you hit 0, you're dead. So I would just take the paper clip. Let's say I've only got health of 45, and then that's how I would track it. Now they are coming out with actual plastic sliders to put on these. I think they're going to be plastic, and that's how those are going to. It's going to have those plastic sliders for that, so that's how you'll keep track of the durability on your car. And so that's the components. Just keep in mind it is pre-Kickstarter, so it's not everything's not here yet. We will do a video in the future of a finished copy also, but this is getting ready to go to Kickstarter, and I believe at the end of this month. So we'll go ahead and show you how to set it up.
Okay, here we are on gameplay, and we're going to show you the key points of this game and how it operates. We're not going to go a whole playthrough, but I'm going to start off my turn. You also look at your cards and read what you got, and don't show your other people. The cards on them have little different ways of operating. Like this one is a 0, but when it gets played, you roll your D10, and there's a 1 through 4 you get +2, so it enhances your rolls or de-hances your rolls, if that's a word. Negative cards you play on your opponent, and then you read. And then there's cards that are positive. You're going to want to play that on yourself when you're trying to beat a number. And then there's some cards that are plus and then negative, or negative and plus for special teams. So you have to read those, and like this one has the same. So that's the type of cards you're gonna have.
Yeah, and then like for one of the examples, like this one's restraining order, and it's +1 for any normal team, but if you play it against an opponent that has the Rednecks, which is the team that Anna has, the Speed Billies, it'll actually do negative instead of positive for that team. And the cards are not blank because they're still in production on the artwork for these. So that's why those are blank. They're not blank because of any certain reason.
They're working on the art, so
yeah, like this one, it's completed. And it's got Walker on the track.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. They can take all the time they want to because what they're doing is really good, I think, with the art. It's a lot of fun to watch a game develop, like we've watched Thrash Car come. So anyway, so each turn you get 4 actions, and you mark that here by your little joystick. It actually ends up, it's kind of cool. You put your car, start in neutral, then you go to 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like you'd be driving a
manual transmission
that I don't know how to drive. I know the concept, I just can't get the footwork right. Let's see if I can get it on this game though. So for 1 action, I'm gonna try and move on my action. Oh, great, we have one of the empty ones. Okay, so this card right here, it shows you that it's a handling, and the target is 5, and if I don't make this goal of target, I will take 5 damage.
And she took this off the track because it's a blank one. It's one of those that we could have filled out ourselves and changed the game a little bit. We haven't done anything with these, but that's why she took it off the track, so if you were wondering.
So handling on each one of our cards, well actually, I'm going to get one of the other race teams out here to show you. On your cards for handling, you have all these points right here. And those tell you what your plus is when you're trying to, I just call it make a check because I've been playing so much Pathfinder. But we want to hit the number 5. So the first thing that we're going to do is the top card from the action deck goes face down right here. Tim and all other players get to play a card against me. And then I would normally get to play 2 cards, but since we're playing 2-player here, I only pick 1 card. So I get to play 1 card for myself. And then you take your cards and you shuffle them so you don't know who gave you what, or what's in the top card of the deck. Then I flip them over. And then we do the math. So this one is a +1 fundraiser for trading paint, or a movement roll. It's -2 for soccer moms, but I'm not a soccer mom, so it's +1 for me. And here's a -2 for a pothole. I'm pretty sure Tim played that one. And it's subtract 2 from my, so I'm -1 right now. And then I gave myself moonshine additive, so I'm gonna roll my D10 first, and it's a 2. 1 through 4 is +2. So I'm -1 plus 2 is +1. And then my handling over here is +2. So I'm already at a 3. And I go to roll, and it's a 4. So I made 7. I get to move my car.
And I was thinking, it's kind of hard to figure out why you would want to give someone a positive card. But if you give someone a positive card and there's an opponent ahead of you that everyone needs to knock back, then you would help somebody else go forward to do a trade paint, which will show you that, I'm sure, at some point in this, to knock them out of the race. Is how I would use it if I was going to give a plus to anyone. I would only use it to my advantage to knock someone else out of the race.
Okay. And then you get 4 actions. So I'm going to expend another action trying to go again. And this one right here is another empty card. I swore we took those out. Okay. Now this is an acceleration. My acceleration is a +2 on my board. And then we have the top card.
And then I'll give you guys a little preview of what I gave her before she even knows. Because she is the Speed Billies, which are the rednecks.
Okay, so then I add mine. New wife, new truck, new dog. +3 for rednecks. I guess that's probably not the one you gave me, is it? This one's entrance exam. Wow, I can read today. It's a -3, so I am now at 0 because those negate each other. And bad hair day is a +2. It's -3 for soccer moms. But so I'm +2, and my acceleration is +2. So I'm already at a 4. And this one's a 4, but you're still gonna roll your dice because a 1 is an automatic fail. A 10 is an automatic success. So I could still fail this thing. I got an 8, so I move forward. And then I'm gonna move my joystick to the 3. I'm gonna go. And this is suspension. And I take a card from the top. I guess I don't have a choice in that round. And my suspension is a +1 automatically.
I guess I'll give you.
Okay. And I'm trying to make a 4. I gave myself the +4 supercharged, and this cancels any negative card played against me. And then it says it does not apply to damage dealing cards, which, what do you know? I got a walker on the track. It takes 5 damage. Apply this card before any others. So I take 5. And then, so I'm +4. +1 is 1. Now I still roll the dice. I got a 5, so I make it. And I get to move forward. And then I can show you, I can go in here to the pits. And then I get to use an action to give 10 durability back to myself. You can buy durability in the pits. And you can spend 1 action for 10. And then I actually have baling wire and duct tape, no action cost. Owner can gain 10 points of health and no action cost in the pits. So I'm going to give myself, and you cannot go past 50. But my understanding is you can go higher than what you started. So that didn't cost an action. And then I'm going to take my next action, but we're not going to show you that because we're not going to do a full gameplay. Now we showed you that, so we need to show you. Oh, so since I use this button right here, the once per race, I'm going to put that on there so I know I cannot use it anymore. And now we can show you trading paint. So if you are at the same spot as another person, say Tim and I are both here, and I'm coming up behind him to pass him, I get to choose to trade paint for him, with him, and say, we both have 7 cards. Get your cards back. When you trade paint, each one of us chooses a card that we want to play. We can play one against them, or we can play one for us. And then there are some that are dual. When they're dual cards, you can play in both aspects of play. Okay. And you don't show a card. And then we both roll before we reveal the cards. 5. And he has a 7. Now, you have trading paint too. You have a
skill.
That's a good word. So I have 8 as it stands. Tim has 9 as it stands. So now we're gonna flip over our cards. And did you give one to enhance yourself or?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I did one against you. So you got prevent 5 points of direct damage. This card resolves in. Okay. Well, you need to roll a d10. 6. Take 2 damage. So he doesn't take the damage because of that. So now we're going strictly on rolls. He has a 9. I have an 8, right?
Yeah, so you would take 1d.
So I am going to take a 1d, and there's a trading paint table here that'll tell you what it is. A 1d, a d10, what am I talking about? And I got 2. So 2 is losing driver takes 4 points of damage. Oh, that's not what happens. I am so sorry. I messed up. We take the difference between our rolls.
That's what it
which
said.
would be
You took
1. Which is 1. I rolled the dice. I don't know what I'm talking about. You take the difference between the 2, and then that's what happens. So it's 1. So I take 4 points of damage. So I'm now at 41. And that's how you trade paint. Also, when you make a lap around, after each lap, you're gonna take this one and move it around. You determine between 3 and 5 laps how many you're doing. And there's 2 different boards. The smaller one is for a shorter game, the larger one's for a longer game. They estimated, I think, 30 minutes to an hour for this one, and an hour to an hour and a half, I believe, or so. And I can definitely see how that one would take long. Yeah, an hour to an hour and a half. And then this one has the pits. This one does not. And then the NOS button, if Tim were coming up, or I was coming up behind Tim, and he wanted to, I had 2 actions. You have to have at least 1 action. The opponent has to have at least 1 action. But if I'm going and come up behind Tim, and I have, say, 2 actions, he can make me lose an action and spend it on trading paint with him. So I would be forced to stop and trade paint with him. And then if I had another action, I could continue to move. But if that was my last action, I wouldn't be able to move anymore.
Yeah, and basically what that's doing is it's causing the driver up front to do a block maneuver to the driver in the back, and then they end up getting into each other and trading a little bit of paint. And then so you would just do the trade paint aspect of that, and then it was resolve after that. And then if the character that you played the NOS against still has 1 more action to go, they can go ahead and use that last action and proceed with gameplay as normal.
To win, you have to be the first person to pass the start line. So you have to make this last check to pass it. And then also, your once per race, you can only use those once per race. Your NOS button, you only get to use it once per race. And then these are once per lap. So when you use them in a lap, you flip them over. And then once you pass the start finish line, that lap, you flip them back and you can use them again. Which is kind of cool that you get these random bonuses throughout the game.
Alright, well now that we've shown you everything on how to play and setups, we're going to go ahead and go to the conclusion and give you our thoughts on this pre-Kickstarter of Thrash Car. Now we're going to bring you our conclusion of Thrash Car. When I came across this project, I insisted on them letting me do a review for them. From being from Indianapolis, the racing capital of the world, I thought that this would be a great game for me to try and get exposed in my area to my buddies of mine that are not board gamers, they're car guys, but a lot of them have seemed to be interested in it and seem to like it as well as I do. And bringing cars and racing in an oval aspect versus like Formula D, this is completely different. You've got your trade paint aspect where you can take each other's cars out, or you know it's basically like putting the guy on the wall, and everybody loves seeing car crashes on NASCAR, and I think that this is a perfect way to simulate how you can screw your neighbor in this type of a game on a racing in an oval. What do you think, Anna?
I love the racing feel of the game. You can actually feel yourself wanting to get ahead, but you know that the other cars are right near you because you each have 4 actions per turn. So they are right there neck and neck with you, so you keep trading paint, and I enjoy that. So it keeps you involved, and you want to see, you are involved in other people's turns because you can screw them while they're going. And then you also get to, each gameplay, people are involved, because if you're moving, you get to play cards while they're moving. If you're trading paint, you get to, do that. So you're involved, and you want to race. You get that feel. So.
And you could also play the game as you have a teammate, but then you could completely just come out of nowhere and take that person out. You're helping each other go around the track. And we see that a lot in the racing scene here in Indianapolis at the racetrack. There's guys that say that they're on the same team, but everybody's going for the win, and that is exactly what Thrash Car is about, is going for that win and screwing your teammates. Even if you do want to help somebody out on the track, you got to go out there and get your win for yourself.
Well, the reason you do that, we were talking about that, is if someone is really ahead of you and you're with someone that you want to help get ahead, to take those other people out. Obviously, it's going to come cutthroat in the end, but if someone gets ahead, you can kind of help each other out by playing positive cards while they're going through their movements to kind of catch up to trade paint with those people.
Yeah, and then you could also hope that they return that favor, and especially if you're the back of the pack and you're trying to catch up to that guy that's in the first or even take second.
You wouldn't help me.
Yeah, I'm not really out there to help anybody. I'm a one-man show. I'm driving the car, nobody else. So this is our outlook on Thrash Car. This is Geeked Up Gaming. We hope you enjoy.
Go to Kickstarter, kickstarter.com/thrashcar.
They'll be alive, I do believe, at the end of this month, hopefully, because I am ready to get this thing promoted even more than what we're doing right now. So I hope you enjoyed.
Take care.